Good day, viewers, and welcome to the Sport Wrap Show. I am your host, Brian Monango, updating you on the latest sports news. The Swimming Federation is very happy indeed as 7 youngsters bring back 18 medals from South Africa where they competed in a competition there, but more on that to come on the show. And the Champions League is back as Chelsea look to take on Dortmund in today's game as they will try to secure around in the quarterfinals and try and beat a Dortmund that is very hard to beat. Well, with that, let's get into today's hit list. Well, a young team of 7 Namibian swimmers represented the Namibian Swimming Federation at the South African Level 2 Regional Championship in Pretoria last weekend. While all 7 of the Namibians reached the finals of their respective events, while the group also brought back 18 medals from the championship, including 5 gold, 6 silver, and 7 bronze. Well, the triumphant swimmers returned home on Monday and will now begin their preparations for the Bank Windhoek competition, which will be held at the Olympia swimming pool on the 18th of March. Well, former Namibian cricket coach Doug Watson has been appointed as the interim head coach of Scotland. Watson, who coached the Namibian Eagles from October 2012 to 2015, will accompany the Scottish side to the 2023 Cricket World Cup qualifier in Zimbabwe during June. The South African national also currently serves as the head coach of the Auckland Aces in New Zealand. Well, the 14-year-old Paralympic athlete Liz Meyer on Saturday ran at 14.1 seconds in 100 meters at the Athletics Namibian 5th Grand Prix in Oshakati. With her time, Meyer officially qualifies for the Senior 2023 World Para-Athletics Championship in Paris, France. But her coach Hank Botta said she would rather go to the junior version in Paris, which will take place in July. Well, a news update today at the Independence Stadium as we speak. Today early on, sorry for that, in Windhoek, a Delta Secondary School had the sports event where they were joined by 9 other schools to take part in various sports schools ranging from high jump, long jump, javelin throw, shot put, and athletics. We compiled a small video for you, so please do enjoy.
Erden van der Westhuizen from Windhoek Gymnasium, under 15 boys. My events are high jump and long jump.
So Elden, how are you finding the competition?
The competition has been fun. It's good competition. Always good to have people around me. It's also good to skip school.
Okay. So how have you prepared for this competition?
This competition, I put in a lot of effort, a lot of work with my coaches. Also, big respect to everyone here.
Okay. And what's your favorite part about being a student athlete?
Student athlete. It's good to be a student athlete in Namibia. The athletics standard isn't very high, so I have chances of breaking records.
Okay. And do you plan on becoming a professional someday, or do you just do this for fun?
One day I would love to be in the Olympics for the high jump and for the long jump as well.
Okay, and how are you finding the competition given that there are 10 schools participating?
The competition is good. A lot of strong schools.
Okay. And have you encountered any challenges during your training?
During my training, lots of injuries during last year, but this year starting good.
Okay, thank you so much.
Hello, my name is Valdrey Kotsa in Windhoek Gymnasium. I do shot put, discus and javelin, and I'm under 17.
Okay, so Valdrey, how did you prepare for this competition?
I train about 4 times a week, twice for discus, twice for javelin, and twice for shot put as well, so it's 6 times. And yeah, I felt good coming in today, but it wasn't the best, but I'm still satisfied, so yeah.
Okay, so Valdrey, what is your favorite part about being a student athlete?
It's really nice because it's a good way to express yourself if you have athletic abilities, and it's really nice to take a breather once in a while and come and do sports and athletics. So I really enjoy it.
Okay, and how do you manage your time between school practice and games?
Yeah, balance is very important. I try to sometimes create a schedule for myself so I can do things according to time that I have, and yeah, I like to balance my stuff so that it's always in order.
And have you encountered any challenges during your training for this competition?
Yeah, I'm a rugby player as well, so I can't attend my athletics that much, so I wasn't that well prepared, but it was really nice today, so yeah.
Okay, do you plan on becoming a professional someday, or do you just do this for fun?
This is just for fun. I'm more focused on rugby, so yeah, this is just for fun.
Okay, thank you so much.
A lot of sleep, mental preparation, not a lot of physical exercise, just to rest my body and yeah,
Okay.
food.
Okay. And how are you finding the competition given that there are 10 schools participating?
It's quite tame, not a lot of stress levels, but still tense enough to be fun.
Okay, and how do you manage your time between school, practice and games?
Sleep a little bit, but if not, there's no time, then you have to do schoolwork instead. So there's certain sacrifices you have to make to achieve the levels you have to achieve.
Okay, and what would you say is your favorite part about being a student athlete?
Ooh, not being at school.
Oh,
Getting to skip school sometimes.
okay, and do you plan on becoming a professional athlete, or do you just do this for fun?
No, I'm just doing this for fun at the moment, but you never know. Maybe your plans change.
Right, and have you encountered any challenges during your training?
Yeah, injuries and mental battles, like if you should continue or just give up, like normal stuff.
Okay, and what would you advise someone who's planning to become an athlete like you?
Work hard, don't give up, and yeah, if you work hard, you can achieve anything.
Okay, thank you so much.
Pleasure.
An exciting day indeed it is at the Independence Stadium with just a bit of wind that's interfering with the sound. We apologize for that. Well, the Zoom In segment is up next after the break. Well, one of several experienced international competitors due to participate in the RMB Prosperity Health Africa Cup Triathlon. Well, later this month, we will be with Matthew Wright from Barbados. The 30-year-old has a wealth of experience, including the last 3 Commonwealth Games, and is looking forward to his first participation on the African continent. Well, our colleague Andrew Pullman spoke to him in his training base in the UK. Please do enjoy.
So we are privileged to have a quick chat with Matthew Wright. He represents Barbados, one of the well-traveled international triathletes who will be competing at the RMB and Prosperity Health Africa Cup Triathlon to be held at Swakopmund on the 25th of March. So welcome, Matthew.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
So could you maybe just tell us a bit about what it was like growing up in Barbados and how you got into triathlon?
Yeah, no, growing up in Barbados was pretty amazing. You know, it's very outdoor lifestyle. You know, we just have warm weather all year round, you know, beaches. So I just did a bit of every sport under the sun, surfing, cricket, football, yeah, swimming, running, yeah, everything. And I guess I first did my first triathlon when I was in primary school. Just the PE teacher was like, you know, you do a bunch of sports, why don't you come try it out? And I did it amongst all my other sports. It was only probably when I was around 16 that I it was between kind of football and running track / triathlon. So when I was about 16 years old, I finally made the decision to just stick with triathlon, and you know, the injury risk with football and stuff, I had to give that up. And yeah, ended up leaving Barbados at 18 to go to university in the UK, because, you know, to chase the triathlon dream. And I'm now, that was when I was 18, and now I'm 30 years old, and yeah, I've been kind of racing at the elite level for 12 years, and as you said, traveling all over the world and being able to yeah, live the dream. So it's pretty special.
So now that you've been to the last 2 Commonwealth Games, can you tell us what has been your highest world ranking and some of your previous performances that you are most proud of?
Yeah, so I've actually been to 3 Commonwealth Games. So I went to Glasgow in 2014, was my first one as a young whippersnapper, and yeah, I was just blown away. And yeah, ever since then, it's been an amazing games to go to. And yeah, I did the last one in the summer in Birmingham, where I came top 20. I was 17th. Didn't quite have the race I wanted to have, but was pretty happy. And yeah, the highest I've ever been ranked in the world is 93rd. That wasn't since 2017, so I'm hoping to get back to the top 100, and that's why I'm coming to Swakopmund. Sorry if I pronounced that incorrectly. But yeah, trying to get that world ranking back up, because I'm now just inside the top 150, but the aim is to be, I want to be around 75 by the end of the year. So I'm trying to qualify for Paris in 2024, the Olympic Games. So yeah, so on the points chase all over the world. And a few of my best results, I actually won an Asian Cup in Jordan last season. That was my first ever international win on the World Triathlon circuit. So, you know, even though I'm now 30, I feel like I'm finally kind of hitting the kind of peak of my career. It's been a long slog to get here, but yeah, it's everything's looking quite good, and I'm hoping to build, you know, at the beginning of this season in Africa, in Swakopmund, and racing in South Africa the weekend before. So hoping to build on the success of last season, which included my, as I said, my first international win on the World Triathlon circuit.
So what would you say would be your favorite traveling destination of all the places that you're visiting, being a professional triathlete?
Yeah, yeah, I've been to some fantastic places and some pretty, places that I'll probably never go back to again. My favorite place is actually Japan. I raced in Miyazaki, Japan, which is a coastal town, in 2018, and yeah, Japan just blew me away. The Japanese people were so kind and friendly and helpful, and yeah, even though we didn't speak the same language, they were just, yeah, such amazing people, and I'd go back to Japan again. So that was probably my favorite place, but maybe Namibia can take that to the top spot.
You competed in any other places in Africa before, and have you been to Namibia before?
No, I've never been to Africa at all, actually, and so yeah, Namibia neither. So I've heard amazing things. I actually have a cousin that lives in Malawi, and she's been trying to get me to come for ages, but because the schedule is so hectic with international triathlon racing, you know, there's no kind of room for leisure travel, you know, in between. So when I retire, I'll be able to, go see her. But obviously I'm coming pretty close, coming to South Africa and Namibia, but not really looking forward to my first ever trip to the African continent.
Okay, so what you know about the athletes that will be there, what are your expectations of this Africa Cup event coming up in Swakopmund?
Yeah, so as I said, there's a race in South Africa the weekend before, so it's actually attracted a lot of pretty highly ranked athletes, as you know, it's quite helpful having 2 races close together, like geographically. So I think a lot of people are kind of doing the trip, and I'm traveling with three training partners that I train with here in Cardiff in the UK, where I'm based. Fantastic athletes. One guy's got a Commonwealth medal from the last Commonwealth Games in the mixed team relay. My other training partner was, you know, top 15 at the games, and we're traveling with also, we have a Japanese training partner who's ranked, you know, 70th in the world. So these 3 guys are going to be, you know, hot competition for myself, and there's also a few other really great athletes on the start list that, you know, I'm not, and it's always tough at the beginning of the season. You're never sure where the form is at, how the training has gone over the last few months, you know, because it's been about 5 months since my last race. So yeah, I'm not sure where I'm at, where everyone else is at, because you haven't seen races to see where, you know, where the level's at yet, as it's only March and only the first few races have occurred this season. So yeah, it's all to play for. Like I know I'm in pretty good shape, but yeah, also not sure, you know. But I think there's a good 5 to 10 really solid, really highly ranked athletes racing in Swakopmund. So, and being a sprint distance is short, sharp, fast, and you know, any mistake you can be caught out, because sometimes 5-10 seconds is the difference between 2 or 3 positions at this level. So yeah, I'm hoping to put my best foot forward and be able to put in a good performance. But as I said, because it's my first few races of the season, I don't know where I'm at right now.
All right. So you told us that you are basically on your way to the next training session. So we'll let you go. So we appreciate your time and looking forward to seeing you in Namibia.
Yeah, thank you for the interview. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Yeah, getting ready for the last few big training sessions before we travel next week. So yeah, thanks for speaking to me, and I really look forward to seeing Namibia for the first time and hopefully racing very well.
All right, thank you. All the best.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Well, Tommy Shindi has decided that he believes FC Tigers can get back to where they belong, and he wants to get the fans involved and make sure that they help out with the team and make sure that the team competes for higher places in the Demarine Premiership. We caught up with him, and this is what he had to say.
Industrial revolution, which is more technically driven. So most of the supporters, players, and the management, being millennials, we have to understand how we operate. You know, we operate very differently in person and when we operate electronics. So the thing that we have to make the supporters more proficient in is relationships. And relationships is not just going on a group and then asking for results. Relationship has to do with voice inflection, personal interaction, and coming to matches. So the trajectory that I'll put up will speak more of how we can bring the 12 men to the stadium in terms of putting up stations where we meet, because in the past I've attended a lot of soccer matches in the UK and in Soweto Derby. So I know there's always spots where you meet and where you then move with the supporters to the matches, especially the small matches, because you know there are people that just have the tendency to attend, most supporters just a tendency to attend the big matches. So you have to push. And then the media presence that we are putting up, I'm busy in talks with 2 very big media personalities, celebrities, socialites in Namibia that I will bring on board. They will be running our promotions and all that, and they have a very huge following. And you know what happens if you have such a personality on board? You trigger then everyone that wants to be like them and then or likes what they do, and it will pull numbers for us. And that 12th player that we need, we have to win the matches in the week and just go claim the points at match day. That's all. That's my plan.
The follow-up question, which was directed to me, Mr. Ezra, I think should have been directed to the technical team, the head coach or the coach, because it's a bit misleading. But I will answer it, and it will be short. My answer is you claimed rumors and hearsay. And in life, we all don't go by rumors and hearsay because there's no substance to it. That is the hierarchy. Head coach, Mr. James Britt. First team coach, Mr. Mekonjo Naholo. Coach, assistant coach, Mr. Prota Shikabwe. Goalkeeper coach, Mr. Heribert Captain. Fitness coach, Mr. Rudy Lowe. Medic, Mrs. Julia Alguendo. And then we have 2 team managers, one for logistics and one as first team manager, Mr. Utoni and Mr. Mashisha. So it's self-explanatory. They are their own people, that is the technical team. They make decisions based on technical. If they have to answer to the management, then they do in their own capacities. But on match day and training and all of that, they are in charge, fully in charge. They stand by their mandate. Thank you.
Well, Ariohat is up next with Globetrotting.
Good day everyone, time for international sports news, starting off with cycling news today. It is the Paris-Nice cycle tour taking place. It was stage 2 that's concluded. It was 164 kilometers. It was from Bezansville to Fontainebleau, and the winner there was Mats Pettersen, and he is from Norway, and he won in a group sprint to the end, just a few hundredths of a second in front of Olaf Koy in second place. Third place in this second stage was Magnus Kort Nielsen. The general classification, it is Mats Pettersen that is still in the lead. He was the leader, he was a yellow jersey leader after stage 1 as well, and his combined time after 2 stages, 7 hours, 19 minutes and 35 seconds. Just 2 seconds behind him, one of the early favourites, that is Tojas Pogacar, and in third position it is Tim Merlier. He is 4 seconds behind Pedersen. The third stage will be a time trial. That will be a team time trial, and that will be over 32.2 kilometers. And some teams to look out for is the UAE Team Emirates and also the Jumbo Visma team. Going on to soccer news, midweek game that was played, English Premier League, it was a London derby. It was a Brentford that beat Fulham in a very exciting game, and Brentford won by 3-2. And the two of these 2 teams fighting it out to try and get into the Europa League, that is finishing in the top 8 within positions 5 and 8, where they were likely to finish. At the moment, it's Brentford moving up to 9th position now. They've got 38 points after 24 games. They've played 2 games less than Fulham. Fulham, after 26 games, they've got 39 points in 7th position. So it's quite a tight race to get into that top 8 for both these teams. Brentford, next game this coming Saturday, they're away to Everton, and a tough game for Fulham. Fulham will go to Arsenal, and they will play against Arsenal. So that will be tough to beat the log leaders of the English Premier League. Moving on to cricket news, that is cricket news from South Africa, that South African Proteas currently hosting the West Indies, and news from the T20 team is that it is Aiden Markram that will be the new T20 captain. He's replacing Temba Bavuma that stepped down as a T20 captain. He is now the captain of the Test team. Also former Protea international, that is JP Duminy. He's been appointed on a permanent basis on management as the batting coach of the T20 side. The T20 side will play against the West Indies after the Test series, and it is Andrich Nortje and Kagiso Rabado, both fast bowlers for the Proteas. They will be rested in the T20 series against the West Indies. The second test between the West Indies and South African Proteas, that will start on Wednesday, and that test will be played at the Wanderers. The first test, the South Africans won at Centurion. Closing off today's international sports news with tennis news, it's ATP tennis news. It is the Indian Wells tournament that is starting in a few days' time in California. That is also called the BNP Paribas Open. News from the tournament is that world number 1, that is Novak Djokovic, unfortunately had to withdraw from the tournament. He is not unable to enter the United States. There's still regulations in place in the United States to enter the country with you must be vaccinated, and at the moment Novak Djokovic is not vaccinated, so he couldn't enter the United States for this tournament. He could also not play in the US Open of 2022. Current regulations in place of the USA regarding COVID-19 might change on the 10th of April. That means that it is possible for Novak Djokovic to play in the 2023 US Open. If those regulations change, the US Open tennis tournament will be the 28th of August till the 10th of September. But for the Indian Wells tournament now, it is Novak Djokovic not going to be in action. That's international sports news for today. Hope you have a great sport day, and we talk again tomorrow. Goodbye.
Well, we've come to the end of today's show. Catch us tomorrow again, same time, same place. Goodbye.